Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to do a quick review on a product that I bought. I learned early on in woodworking, buying the cheap Harbor Freight stuff it'll get you results. It just takes more time to make up for the inaccuracies of inferior manufacturing, right? So it took a while. I used to laugh at the guys that bought woodpeckers and Festool, and I became one of them because I found that accuracy equals time and money, and it just was worth it to me. But I still like to buy cheap Chinese tools because they're cheap, and who knows, maybe you're going to find a kind of a gem in the rough. So, hang on one second. Sorry about that. Thought somebody was at the door. Anyways, I still like to buy cheap Chinese tools. You never know what you're going to find. Could be fun. And I saw some videos of people reviewing some stuff coming out of China off Banggood. If you've done any kind of woodworking or precision tool lookups on Google, you're going to come across Banggood. There's a lot of fun stuff there, and honestly, service has been good. Shipping's relatively quick since it's coming direct from China, and prices, I mean, you're not going to beat the prices. But let's find out if there's some quality here. So I bought a couple of things. I'm going to do two different videos to review these because I think it's only fair. I fell in love with Inkra's precision rulers a long time ago. If you've ever had one of these, you know what I'm talking about. It will save you a lot of time if accuracy is really critical to you. And I run a CNC machine, so accuracy is very critical to me. So I have the 6-inch one. I think I have the 12-inch one somewhere. I can't seem to find it since I moved shops. But I saw this, and forgive me, I don't remember what I paid, but I think it was like 15 bucks. So this is 400 millimeters, which is roughly 16 inches, a little bit less maybe, as a T-ruler, similar to the Incra. Now, I will tell you this, Incra ones, accurate, square, good, high quality. They cost more, but they're good, very high quality. This one came with a pencil, so I'm hoping the pencil is finite enough to get into these tiny little measurement holes. But if you do a lot of accurate work and that stuff's important to you, let's find out. So I'm actually gonna review it right now. I'm not gonna do a bunch of video editing and all that nonsense. I'm just gonna open it. I literally have not even opened it yet, so I have not had a chance to look at it. So you'll be seeing my impressions of this thing literally as I have them. Let's see, I gotta bust the tape here. So it came, like I said, with a pencil. The pencil appears to be, oh wow, that I'm probably not gonna be able to show you that on video. That is a very fine tip mechanical pencil. I have zero doubt that it's gonna fit in these slots. It says it's 0.5 millimeter. No reason not to believe it. Came with a pack of refills, whatever. But here's what we're after. So, first impressions, the laser engraving on this is good. It is very well contrasted. I don't know yet on the accuracy, but it has a great deal of contrast. The holes all seem to be uniform. I'm sure it's all just done through lasers. Now, let's dig into what I've learned over time about these. So the first thing I notice immediately in comparison to an Incra is the Incra T-ruler, or I don't know what they call these, to be honest with you. Who cares? They are adjustable on a T-track. And in fact, I would be willing to wager to say you could probably add this to any T-track and it wouldn't matter. But you can adjust them and tighten them. This does come in handy. I use this a lot when I'm making doors. I make a lot of doors, and when you're having to flip sides of measurements, sometimes you'll need to shift this bar if you're at the end of a piece of wood or something. On this one from China, it is not adjustable. Now that's not to say I couldn't throw a T-track on here and a nut, but as it comes, you cannot move this. It is bolted in place, and there is no moving it. So you are stuck with this. Now it appears they have centered it fairly well in the middle of the block, so that's good. You got a little bit of room on each side, which honestly might be just fine. Now that's a little loose, so let's see. All right, it snugs up. No more wiggle. It was a little wiggly out of the package, but I'm sure it had just loosened. What matters the most on these is two things. One, accuracy. How accurate is it? And two, is it square to this bar? Now, going back to what I said in the beginning of the video, learning lessons about accuracy and how much you spend. I bought my very first woodpecker square, which is somewhere around here, which I fell in love with, and I measured and started testing all my squares against it. And at that point, I probably had 9 different types of right angle devices of some nature or another. I wound up throwing away 8 of the 9. In fact, I was so frustrated with one, I actually threw it like a boomerang at my wall. Not a good idea, but whatever. Because it had cost me unbelievable amounts of time. You know, I'm squaring my miter saw to the fence with this thing, and I'm squaring my table saws, and I'm wondering, like, why is it always off by 1/2 degree? Why is there always something wrong? It's a damn square. Now, based on my research of woodpeckers and my use of them and proving that they are perfectly 90 degrees, I have no doubt. Now, any tool that comes into my shop where accuracy matters is always measured and compared against some woodpecker's something. Regardless of the square, the T-track, whatever I'm using, it goes up against this or any of my other woodpecker's tools to check for accuracy. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing right here, right now, because this is frankly pretty critical. So let's find out together. Now, you'll notice I have this little recess here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna place this on the block, and I'm gonna put my track into that recess. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna try, it's gonna be very difficult for me to show you this in the video. I can kind of tell right now. Let's find out. Okay, as it sits right now, I'm not manipulating at all. I'm just slowing movement. There is a tiny, if you look, there is no gap up here at the square or at the corner. But when you get down here to the 12th inch, there is absolutely a gap, which means it is a little bit out of square. Now, look, that's no big deal as long as this is adjustable. So let's find out. I'm going to loosen the nuts on these, and we're going to see if we can take that. Now we've really got some slop there. We're going to see if we can take that out. And it appears to me as though there is enough wiggle room to completely eliminate that angled slop. Now, if we look, this thing is perfectly squared to my woodpecker square. Now, as long as I keep these tight, probably won't have to mess with that again, hopefully ever. But, you know, with any tool, when you do your monthly maintenance or whatever it is that you do, check. You know, always check these things. Look, fit and finish, clean, nice. It appears to be high quality, frankly. Now, the Incra, they're using a slightly higher gauge steel than this. Not much, not much. And it's a little bit wider. So it actually might be the same. It just might feel stiffer because this is a wider piece than this. So you can see this definitely has a little flop to it, but that's okay. I mean, that's what you expect. High contrast. I'm frankly very happy with it. So as a final thing, again, if I'm going to trust any measuring device compared to a Chinese one, like I said, I always check with woodpeckers. But Incra, let's compare it against the Incra. So I'm actually, to test that, I'm going to pop the Incra off the T-bar and its associated connections or joints, and I'm just going to put it up, and let's see, when I zero it out from 0 to 0, does it line up 6 inches down the road? Now, right there, if you can see, I have perfectly aligned, let me pull that down just a little, perfectly aligned the 0 to 0, and I'm going to hold it in place, and we're going to come down here, and we're going to look. So that says that is 6 inches, and at the 6 inch mark on this 400 millimeter precision ruler, I haven't done the math, so let's find out. It says we are at 152.5 millimeters. Now, I don't know if 152 millimeters, 152.5 divided by 25.4. Let's find out. I'm sorry you can't see me right now. I'm going to open up my calculator on my computer. 152.5 divided by 25.4 equals 6.0039 inches. In my book, you are 0.003 of an inch off. That is perfectly acceptable in this shop. I have no issues with that at all. So to my reading, that's accurate. So that tells me that from the square stop, this is accurate. And according to an intra measuring device, it's also accurate. I am, as I said, going to do one last thing. I'm going to take one more measurement. At the 12-inch mark, it says I am 304, it's like 304.25 millimeters. So I'm going to go check that again. 304.25 divided by 25.4 equals 11.97. Now that is 3/100 off. 10/100, yeah. That is 3/100 off. Now, again, for my shop, I can live with that. And honestly, this might be 304.5. So in reality, this may be dead on. All in all, again, I'll put in the comments or the notes how much I actually paid for this. I think it was $15 or less. Totally worth it, especially considering you get a pencil and lead that will fit these, because that's one of the challenges they don't tell you when you buy one of these types. Finding a pencil that will fit into these lines to help you make your marks is challenging. You got to keep them kind of sharp. Can't use your standard woodworking pencil. You got to have a mechanical, really fine tipped one. So, all right. Well, as for the, what is that? W-New, the stainless steel ruler. The Chinese translation is always funny to me. The stainless steel line ruler by, I don't know if that's new or W-New or what that is. Anyways, pretty quality. I'm actually really happy with it. So if you're in the market for one of those, might save yourself a few bucks and get one from China. Mine took 2 weeks to show up. I wasn't in a rush for it, so it's okay. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. I put out all kinds of random, chaotic, weird videos. I do a lot of CNC machine work and woodworking and weird stuff with electronics and lights and LEDs, and you literally never know what I'm going to be posting. So hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.